everyone. Kyra Schaefer here, and I am with YuSon Shin. Hello.
Hi.
So happy to have you. I'm so excited. I've just laughed for the last 10 minutes with you. Just being us, being our beautiful selves. So we're going to talk today, and YuSon is our expert today. She's been in 150 of our books, something like that. I think that's accurate. She is one of my favorite authors. Oh. She has been a delight. And then I'm going to also read you her official bio. So let's go over and do this. YuSon is a healer, psychic, medium, medical medium, Reiki master, Usui, Archangel, Kundalini, and heals using her various modalities, such as Akashic records, hands-on healing, quantum touch, fifth dimensional quantum healing, and energy healing for pet companions as well. Look at that. At the tender age of 4, YuSon moved from Los Angeles, Los Angeles, from Seoul, Korea, and considers herself an Angelino. Like an Angelino. Are you an Angelina Jolie? She graduated from Los Angeles. She embraces Los Angeles. She graduated with a bachelor's in psychology from UCLA. Growing up Korean, there was always an emphasis on logic, math, science, and success. However, having a quick-tempered father also meant she developed the skill to gauge the condition of others and use her other senses. Yes, right on. She studied under Lisa Williams, Colby Psychic Rebel, Medium Fleur, Paul Jacobs, Tony Stockwell, Annie Bing, probably, and Tina Sally. In addition to psychic mediumship, Reiki, and Akashic records and past life clearing, she loves to do relationship, life path, soul contract readings. Hello. I mean, the only question is, what don't you do? Open heart surgery? I bet you will still say yes. Like, yep, yeah, I can do that on a subway going 60 miles an hour.
Sure, psychic surgery. You've heard of it.
Psychic, that's right. Psychic, that's medical mediumship right there. You know, YuSon, I know all about you. You're an angel.
I'm having the best time.
I know. You know, it's fun. Like when we think about energy work, you know, we think about we've got a home into, you know, but this is energy too. It's light, it's love. Like when you think of light and love, it's like this is light and love, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Connection.
And having fun.
So I have so many questions. So when you first started your journey for yourself, because every healer knows that we get here from somewhere, you know, and you had this ability at a young age to be like, wait a minute, there's something else going on here, and I can use this as a tool to keep me safe. You know, that's kind of what I read in the bio there, to the best of your ability. And I think a lot of people who are learning about healing work or getting into healing work, they could kind of relate to that kind of thing too, of just having a little bit more clarity because there was a need, you know, there's challenges or difficulties. So when you started this process for yourself, what was your go-to thing? What was the thing that you were like, this really made an immediate difference in me? And then we'll just take it from there. What do you think?
Well, honestly, you know, as I was growing up, I was using those skills, but I didn't realize it. It was solely for self-preservation, you know, trying not to get hit, dodging those tempers.
Yeah, I hear that.
And actually, I'm a late bloomer. I did not fully consciously realize it and use it purposefully until I was in my 40s. So late bloomer alert.
So what are you, like 41 right now? I mean, like you are, shut up.
I'm in the next decade over.
Well, you know, yeah, but I'm telling you, energy work keeps you young. It really, really does. It does. It's the fountain of youth. It really is. Go ahead.
Yeah, so yeah, I didn't realize it really that I was utilizing some of the other senses until I started using it with purpose. And I got into this because I wanted to further my career, actually, because I kept seeing these, quotes from Einstein and Steve Jobs, like people in business that I really admire. Um, Richard Branson saying how much intuition is more greatly valued than knowing your numbers and knowing the books. So which is where I lived. What, show me the numbers, show me the facts. If I can't see it, I don't believe it. But
Wow.
there's
That's
so much now.
incredible to go from that to,
This is transformation right here.
yeah, for real.
Because I was a non-believer. So but I've crossed that bridge, and I ain't ever going back.
Mm-mm. No, it is just too good on this side.
Mhm.
It's yeah, and you can't turn it off.
No.
I mean, once you can't put the toothpaste back in the toothpaste holder. It's done. It's out.
Yeah.
And it's so good. But that I think is so key. Like people who doubt the validity of the work, if they came to you, it would be like you could speak their language effortlessly, because you came from that place, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of the my passions. Like, it's almost as if so many more opportunities are opened to me because I open myself up, and so my passion now is to teach other people how to open that door for themselves. And everyone's born with it. We just, it's like going to the gym. We just don't know those muscles are there until
Mhm.
we're actually flexing them and using them.
Yeah.
Uh, and the more you use, the better you become. So.
Yeah. That is so true. It's yeah, yeah, I'm sure you probably had some clients like that. They're like, okay, I came to you. I'm healed. Bye-bye now. It's like, wait a minute. Come back. Okay, I missed a step. Get back in here. Let's start over. you know, there's no such thing as a one and done healing, unless there is some kind of physical ailment where the pain or the symptom or something goes away in that time together, because that does happen. I'm sure you've seen
Mhm.
that too in your practice. And so it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, yeah, we might have cut the grass there, baby. We cut the grass. We got to get to the originating points, and from what I know of you, you have the skills to be able to go in and dig things up by the roots too. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. You can like cut away, those weeds, but until you get to the root and pull that out, it's still going to be a recurring issue. And so one of the things that I love to do is, dig, dig, dig until like a gopher.
Get in
Uh,
there.
and pull those blocks out, and
Mm.
it the interesting thing is it's not always a this lifetime issue. So sometimes it's a past lifetime issue, just like people, whether you believe it or not, we do have some past life issues like fears that you have no idea where they came from, or even gifts like of child prodigies, and all of a sudden they pick up a piano or violin and they're playing. It's because it's all from past lifetimes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So talk to me a little bit about Akashic Records, and how you use them in session with people, because um I have a very cursory knowledge of that. I could probably walk around in it, but I could never express what it is or what it means, but I could walk around. So tell me a little bit how you use that in your session, because I love that.
So, for people who don't know, the Akashic Records is kind of like the universe's record keeping of anything and everything that's ever happened. And each person has their own individual soul book. And within the soul book, you can see past lives, present, and future lives. You can also see any soul contracts that you may have entered into with people that keep popping up in your life. And you can also see like where specific blocks and also the root cause of those issues are. And then you can just take them out and remove them. So a lot of times
Wow.
the Akashic Records readers, they give you readings almost as if it's like a psychic session. And they're not really getting to the meat of the issue and taking things out when you don't need it. And when you take things out, you actually get to what you want faster and easier.
Yeah. Yeah, because that to me, I think is key there. You know, it's like, you know, I never quite, and I may never ever get this where, you know, because I've seen lots of psychics. I've seen not just anyway, long story, but I've seen lots of psychics, lots of medium, lots of different types of mediums, things like that. And they're like, well, I see a dog. Like, okay. And okay, and then I see the dog and he's kind of brown. All right, yep. There's probably a brown dog in everybody's past experience, you know, and they get really vague, but then our brains start pulling pieces together. And if we have that hope or desire, like, oh God, I just need to know that they're on the other side and they love me and that everything is okay and that they're safe and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So those of us who've lost in significant people in our lives, we're looking for that validation. And I think that I'm not saying mediums, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying anybody's doing anything wrong. But I think that what I see in you is very different from what I've seen in other things, you know, because I'm like looking from the outside in going, everybody's got a brown dog, like calm down. Like, you know, they're not saying anything exciting here, you know. And so my inner skeptic and part of my INFJ-ness is like, no, I don't buy it. So how do you help people? And I'm not I fully believe in universal life force energy. I've been a Reiki practitioner for a long time. I believe in it. I feel it. I have spoken to the other side. We're cool. You know, and I'm like, I do all of it myself. But I'm still skeptical. Like I'm a believing skeptic, you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
And so what do you tell people who kind of come to you with that kind of thing? I mean, and they're like, well, are you really talking to my dead aunt or whatever? What do you say to that? Or how do you help people connect the dots?
Well, I mean, coming from a skeptic myself, I want evidence.
Yes, queen.
So it's all about, giving the evidential stuff. Even when you get, the psychic work done or the mediumship work done or, medical mediumship, you want to go back to like what's really real here and what is their experience and saying things that are like really specific only to them. So, a lot of people have brown dogs, but if you're talking to a cat person, they're like, there have been no dogs.
There have been 0 dogs in my experience. How dare you even talk of a dog?
Right. But
Cover
if you
your
say,
ears, honey.
yeah. But it's all about getting information pertinent to that person and trying to get as much of it as possible. Again, channeling my inner gopher, getting those little nuggets, things that are like you can't find. A lot of people say that, mediums find information about the person on, Google or
Google.
Facebook. I've never actually done that. I don't know how, but the information that I get from people on the other side, you cannot find on Facebook.
No. Yeah.
So, but it's
Really
about
can't.
delivering, facts,
Yeah. Yeah.
indisputable facts.
Well, you know, I believe that we are all connected and that when we are getting clear about a person, they're in our environment or we're talking to them, you know, I mean, I'm sure I know you have experienced this before. We'll just be talking to them and just feel that they're in here, you know, and it's like, oh, hey, God, this room really got crowded all of a sudden. Get out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when like actual tears start falling, for the reader, because they weren't expecting it either.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is a powerful session.
Yeah, exactly. And my favorite thing is to make people cry.
Oh my God, I love making people cry. That is like, oh, that is the good shit right there. That is the good stuff because you've hit something, that
Yeah.
they haven't been able to go for out themselves, have been able to dig up or pull up, and they're just like, no, I'm in this physical or emotional pain, and I don't know why. I can't figure out why.
Exactly.
How do you support people when they do have that moment where they're like, oh, I'm feeling my feelings? What kinds of things do you help them work through when that's happening?
Well, I encourage that because a lot of us are stuffers. We tend to like put it all in there, like, putting all of our feelings into a secret closet, and then no one opened that closet.
Off
um,
limits.
exactly. So I encourage that, but I also give my clients tools so that, they don't stuff their feelings and they can actually process it and then let it go. That is really the healthiest when you can like be in the moment and then feel it, acknowledge it, and then let it go.
Mm.
And being grounded is one of them. I tell all of my clients, you have to be grounded. It's almost like running track and field without going through the starter blocks, and just starting from a dead stop. Like you're not going to get very much traction. So
Right.
being grounded is really the key, and getting those anxieties and mental loops that go on in our heads, and trying to stop them.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always have to be meditation and oming and kumbayaing.
Come over here. Let's kumbaya together. It might be frowned upon.
Exactly. It's all about connection too.
Yeah.
We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah. It's so interesting. So when you've been working with people, what were some of the things that just pop in your mind um around the work that you've done where you're like, oh, that was really cool, or that was really interesting?
Wait, can you repeat the question?
Sure. So like what is there been anything where you've worked with clients or anything where you were like, oh, that was a really cool thing, or that's wild that happened like that? Any fun surprises you've experienced along the way?
Let me see. It's interesting when I do go for into past life issues. A lot of times, the fears and anxieties that they experience in this lifetime, um, it makes sense from what I've dug up. So, for example, someone like I'll say, um, if two people are in a relationship and we're trying to improve their relationship, and one person is just really afraid to come off as being dumb, and they're so far from dumb. They're like bright and has creative ideas, and they also know common sense and have has a lot of intelligence, but we don't know where that thought even came from, and it comes from a previous life where they were a little slow. And all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So those light bulbs kind of going off
Hmm.
and getting clarity, and you get to see that a lot with your clients.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's just an example. But, also like preferences. We don't know where they came from, or like similar life patterns. And, when they hear like all of the things that, they've experienced in other lifetimes, and also the traumas they keep repeating as well.
Oh
They're like,
yeah.
oh, well, I don't have to do this anymore.
Mm,
That,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's when the healing begins.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, I remember I did a past life, and I always had chronic neck pain, and I could not figure out why. I mean, it might have been from headbanging when I was it might have been from that. I'm not gonna commit to it. But I had this past life regression when I was a little French girl stealing bread, you know, and on the streets, and then I got hung for it. I wasn't that little. I was like a teenager, you know, or whatever, something like that. And I got hung, and I was like, seriously, I'm gonna hang a little girl? You assholes. Do you realize how this affected me in my present life situation? How dare you?
That's hilarious because I cannot wear turtlenecks because I think I've been hung.
You were next to me.
Exactly.
Did you steal bread with me?
I stole the cheese.
Were we in it together? Was that a heist?
It was the ultimate French heist.
I'm like, you go get the cheese and wine. I'm gonna grab the bread. We got this. Just put it in your corset. Put it in your.
I'm excited to see you. That's.
I've been waiting many lifetimes to see you, son.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Well, if you're not laughing with us, it's your fault. Beautiful audience who I love and cherish. Like Abraham Hicks says, I love you so much. We love you so much. Love you so much.
Oh my God, I love Esther and Abraham.
Oh, love Abraham. So let's see, what other questions do I want to ask you? Oh, okay. So like, so when you do you do like when you, I know, okay, I can say words. Do you do energy work too? Like, do you do hands-on energy work with people? Or are you primarily like with video, you know, virtual stuff right now? Or like, or just mainly do readings? What's kind of your thing that your go-to thing is right now for working with people?
It was a natural progression, I think, because I'm so logical. I'm like, well, energy, I need to put my hands on people, of course. And that's how I started.
Yeah, me too.
But then you quickly realize, you know, energy can go wherever you intend it to go. So all of my clients now are either phone or Zoom or actual, you know, set a time, and I'm just going to send it to you. And we don't have to be connected by phone or Zoom.
We can just be together. We get to meet in the cosmos. Because we can. I mean, have you had that experience? I'm sure you have. You know, I mean, I know that when I was working with clients more in the past, you know, and doing more energy work type stuff, I would meet them way earlier than what I actually had to get time and appointment for.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, like when you set something in time and space, since there is no time and space really when it comes to this type of work, well, and also in reality, but it's like, I mean, I know who's coming before they're coming. There's a benefit to learning how to hone this skill and this ability too.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, what's going on, you know what, you know, I mean, I know probably what's going to happen before. Like, I mean, and I path it out. I don't know if you do this, but like, this is partially trauma stuff, partially trigger stuff, partially PTSD. But when I'm going to go somewhere where there's going to be a lot of people, I look at where I'm going. Like I look at the stadium, I look at the seating. And then sometimes while I'm in the seat, I'm like giving energy to the rest of the crowd so that everything goes smoothly, because I am selfish. I want energetically everything to line up for me. Sorry, but It's all for my good.
That's perfect. Those are the tools that, yeah, I teach my clients too and my students. Yeah, I wish everyone was more selfish. The world would be a better place.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yes. And I selfishly say because everything's running smoothly and uneventfully. The only event is happiness.
Exactly. And especially right now after, COVID, it seems like everyone's kind of lost their ever-loving mind and like they've lost the ability to connect with people.
Yeah.
And so doing that would really help everybody, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Get selfish. Get selfish, guys.
Get selfish.
You do you. Set that energy up before you walk into it. How about that? Hold that good dominant energy. And if you don't know how, YuSon can tell you. She will show you how to do it. She knows the tools. She knows the goodness. She's got that good grace going on. And you don't have to be healed. Just throw that out there. You don't have to. I mean, when I started my own journey, I was like, I'm completely fucked. Like it was, and I knew it. I mean, it was one of those things. Has anybody ever told you this? Where, I know for me, I was afraid to hug people because I was afraid that I would get my crazy onto them.
We all have our little things.
Like, I don't want to do energy work on you because I'm afraid some of this will seep out of these. So I'm just going to do this for like a year. Just keep it all with me. Keep it all.
But also, like, healing is an ongoing journey. Like, there's always things that you discover about yourself. There are always things that are going to come off in layers, and you're like, I thought I got rid of this like a decade ago, and it's still popping up.
Yeah.
So it is an ongoing journey. Anyone who says I'm done with, something or other is just a fool.
Yes. Oh, yes. And believe me, I was that fool. I was like, once I got to a good place emotionally, energetically, never watched the news, never got triggered, never went into the world, never did any. I'm like, I am fine. Everyone, come to me and feel the grace of my awesomeness, And then it was like, oh yeah. And then I turned the news on again, and then I went into the world, and then I was like, oh God, why does everything suck? Like I remember I tell people, I'm like, I know I'm not enlightened for two reasons. One, because anytime I drive in traffic, and two, if I ever eat anything that will fall out of a bun or a shell, I lose my absolute mind. I'm like, oh no. So listen, guys, we're not being fancy here. I think that's clear. We're real. Sounds real. It's something, because I've seen, and I love that some people are just, they got it. They got that thing, they got it together. You get in their presence, like, wow, you're amazing. I love the energy coming off of you. And also I love the people that are just real. And YuSon has always been real to me. Somebody that's relatable, that's open-hearted, that's sweet, but also will be like, you a fool.
I'm channeling my inner Mr. T.
It's so good. I love it because it's authentic, it's genuine, it's just real, and we need real people doing this work, because I know that if I'd had super amazing, gracious healers in my life that I just thought, hung the moon, either I would still be there, because I would be like, this is the path. This is the only way, or there's some of that guruizing stuff that happens. and then also to never feeling like I could live up to it, you know. But we're all like YuSon said, we're on our own journey, like we're on our own path, and I think that that's great that you bring that in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we set ourselves up for failure to, try to mimic someone else because we're us, we can't be someone else. And then also to make someone else, and even ourselves, like subject to fail, like if we have to be perfect, there's no such thing. Other people aren't perfect. We're not perfect. Actually the most successful people actually fail the most.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I can't remember which person said this. It was like, fail, 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 fail a lot. Fail as much as you possibly can. Make it your job to fail because that is the only way you're going to be successful. And I definitely fall into that trap. I got that perfectionism thing, that wrongness button, not enoughness button, all that kind of stuff. And so starting something new, or trying out like mediumship, and going to a medium and talking to someone who does something like Akashic records like YuSon does, and digging in and seeing what's really going on in there, can be kind of scary, at first, because we're like, oh, what am I going to find? It's probably not the chewing gum I swallowed in, third grade, but could be. So, and it's interesting because it's like, how do you put people at ease? I feel like you do it naturally. It's just who you are. I mean, I feel so comfortable and at ease with you anytime we talk or in connection. Not because we're necessarily on a similar path or have had a similar background or, whatever. It's just who you are. You're so open, and so it's just, I don't know, it's just, you just got that good energy, girl. Are there other things that you do to help put people's mind at ease when they're coming to see you, so that they know that they can do this too?
Yeah, I think, what most people are afraid of is judgment. And so you create this judgment-free zone, and create it for, not just, I'm not judging you, because who am I? I've failed so many times, but also like make it so that it's safe for them not to judge themselves.
Yeah.
Because the pointing of the finger, backwards, it could be really harsh. You're hardest on yourself. And so, creating an open and safe place, free from judgment, free from blame, shame, any of that, which is so hurtful on so many levels.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know what it is about me, but people, like within a few minutes of talking to me, they'll tell me their like deepest,
Life
darkest
story.
secrets. I'm like, did I need to hear that? But thank you for sharing.
So open.
It's all about, trust. You create this trust between you and whoever else you're connecting with, and they know that I'm not going to spill the beans.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you're getting into your flow of your day, or that kind of thing, or you're getting ready to work with someone, or you're in the process of getting ready to be ready,
Mhm.
what are some things that you do to help you connect or hook in with either universal life force energy or yourself? Or tell me about a little bit about that process for you.
Yeah. So I'm not someone who meditates for like 3 hours before clients. I'm like, who has the time?
That's fair.
But
That's
the other
totally
thing,
fair.
it's meditation actually brings your energy levels down. I want to pick my energy level up. And so, I will do some physical exercises. I don't know if you've heard of Donna Eden, but
Yeah.
she see
Energy
energy.
medicine. Yeah.
Yes. And so I do some of her exercises. Or I'll just dance around the house and, bring my awareness and intention out and up, so that I can, be the best. And also, like I say before every client, please let me be the best possible, you know, person, for this next client. And, let me give my all,
Mm.
so that they can have the best healing that they can.
Yeah.
So it's setting the intention too. Like, are you intending to have, to spread goodness, or intending to have road rage like sometimes I do? I never intend it, but it comes.
I mean, it's road rage is a very interesting statement, I think there's variations. Mine is like, I just start yelling. It's my version of primal screaming is really what it is. What's so funny? I feel like the car is a vacuum. Like if I go into the car, no one outside the car can hear me. I know it. It's completely soundproof. So I sing at the top of my lungs. I yell.
Mm-hmm. I do too. That's my road rage too. So
we're not alone. I know there's others of you out there. I just don't act on it. I don't like speed up, get in front of them, tell them what a jerk they are. Right on.
Yeah. I have, freely let the bird out.
Yeah.
I freed the bird.
What's so funny? I was living in Asheville, North Carolina, and I had my magnets for my business on the side of my car, and it was like Reiki Master, blah blah blah, and I had my ordination. So it was like Reverend Kyra Clark was my name at the time. I'm like, I had to take the Reverend off of I was in way too many behaviors. I could not do God like that, man. Being a poor representative down here.
Right.
Oh man. This is a great conversation. Now I'll try to pull it in with something serious. So don't do it. Just don't do it.
Don't do it.
Oh.
Have you freed the bird?
Oh, girl. The bird was never in a cage. Bird never got in there.
Oh my God.
Oh no, I'm gonna have a hot flash.
Great.
Oh God, so fun. I know there are people watching. If you're watching, I hope you're just enjoying your time with us. And if you're laughing with us, that's laughing yoga. It works. It's healing. So then let's talk about ailments.
Okay.
Talk about serious disease for a moment. I'm just kidding. Yes, but I do want to talk about illnesses, physical illnesses, things like that can be solved with I mean, even past life stuff. Like with me, my neck actually started to feel better when my brain connected the dots and did the healing kind of at the end to heal that thing. So what have you seen, or what do you notice, or what do you know about this that I don't, which I don't know a lot, but if with healing ailments in conjunction with healing past lives, what have you seen there, experienced?
I find that like one definitely has to do with the other, and it's not always past life related.
Okay.
So, but I one of the other techniques that I use is the Bengston method, and it's the only one that's been scientifically tested and proven to cure cancer in mice. And then, I mean, I know this sounds terrible. They would re-inject the mice after they were cured with the same cancer, and they couldn't get it again. So I use the Bankston method kind of as a foundation with every session that I do.
Mhm.
And there was this one client. She had a grapefruit size. She had a predisposition to colon cancer.
Mm.
She had a grapefruit sized mass in her colon. Um, her doctors told her to seek palliative care, which means that they've given up and they don't know what else to do.
Mhm.
And she practices the Bankston method, but she came to me because, when you're not feeling well, you need that support.
Yeah.
And so
Anything.
together, yeah, together, like within, I would say, and it took a while, about 6 months, once a week. She is no longer, has anything. They did a colonoscopy, and the doctor's like, Did you get an operation with someone else? I don't
Where
understand what
did it
happened."
go?
Exactly.
That's incredible. That is
Yeah.
beautiful.
So,
Yeah.
that happens, and that had nothing to do with her past life. I had a client, every time she would eat, and for a couple of years, she would feel awful,
Mm.
like pain in her, gut. And I did a past life thing on her through the records. And I found that she had been abused as a child in a previous life. And once we, opened those doors and let that out, um, she no longer had that. And it only took one session. And she kept going to doctors asking like what was wrong. They couldn't find anything. And then she also happened to have an upcoming medical appointment right after the session. And the doctor's like, how are you doing? And she's like, I don't know what to tell you, except I went to see this energy healer. And she thought he was going to judge her.
Right.
And he's like, it's gone. And he's like, oh, good, because we didn't know what else to do for you.
You were going to go on the fibromyalgia pile. Like, we don't know what to do with this, so just suffer. Yeah.
Exactly. So,
Wow.
yeah. So, like, real miracles like that happen. So,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
amazing.
absolutely. You are the best. I just want to
You're
tell
the
you that.
best.
You're the best. You're
I
amazing.
love
You're a
you.
miracle worker. You really are. And they don't feel judged in your presence, and you just get to be in your energy. I
Yeah.
feel like I just want to be with you all the time.
We would have so much fun.
Oh my gosh, we really would.
We'd let a
Oh,
few birds out.
yes. Free the bird anytime.
Just for fun.
Just for
Just for
fun.
funsies.
No one's doing anything. No one's doing anything.
That's when it's the best.
That's I feel like it's even better. Because then, oh wait, here's some intrusive thoughts. And then they would be like, did I do something? And then their self-worth would come into play. And they would be like, I think I did something wrong. What did I do wrong? And then they need to call you, make an appointment, help them heal their self-worth. I don't know. Some lady flicked me off while on the highway and I don't understand what I did wrong. Can you help me understand?
Now you understand why I do it. It's to get clients.
Just get more clients.
No, I
No.
actually totally believe that once you empower people, they don't need you. I love it when people say, I don't need you anymore.
Oh, I do too. Yeah. Because that's the point. I mean,
Exactly.
this is verified across the board in multiple places, but a lot of the medical community, how can I say this without it sounding whatever judgmental, but it's not that. I mean, it's really proven. The system is designed to keep the system moving, to keep it going, to keep it filled. That's fact. You know, it's not like it's Kyra making something up. And so, and it's not that doctors go into something thinking, I'm going to keep this person on the hook forever and ever. But honestly, if we really look at our thinking about things, I remember when I had health insurance, I was the sickest because because I would go to the doctor for every little thing. This is just me, you know, anybody else might take some information from it, but I would go to the doctor and the doctor would find something, you know, and one time in particular, I went to the doctor and I was like, I have these really bad digestive issues. So interesting you brought that up. And I don't know what's wrong. And I said, maybe I'm allergic to something. And he said, I don't even know how we would test for that. I'm like, is this a doctor's office? What is going on? Am I in the Twilight Zone? And I had a glistening tear on my cheek, and because I was so frustrated with my body not doing what I thought it should be doing. And he said, well, you know, really, you're emotional. So I think you're really depressed and have anxiety. And I was like, shit, I was diagnosed with anxiety when I was 11 years old. I know that. That's old news. I think you need to get on some antidepressants. Okay. All right, fine. It's been 20 years since I was on antidepressants. Maybe they'll do differently this time. Nope. It was worse. And I felt worse. And it didn't change anything. And then I went to somebody who knew what was going on, tested me, and said, oh, yeah, you're allergic to 50 things. You know, got rid of all of them, lost weight, and no digestive issues. You know, and then the self-healing part too. You know, it's like, I don't know. I just think it's a setup, and our brains just get, you know, hooked in to this authority saying what we need to do or what we don't need to do and all that kind of stuff, when really I just needed somebody to sit with me and walk through it. And I'm sure that's what you do with your clients, just kind of walk through the process to just help them understand what potentially could be going on, and then empower them to claim themselves, you know, reclaim themselves, reclaim their healing, reclaim their truth. That's what I see with you. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, I know that I use the word healer freely, but really I empower people to heal themselves. Everyone is capable of healing their own bodies. So if there's like, you know, it's just like as if you had a thorn stuck and you couldn't heal because there's something stuck in there. I pull those things out, whether it's energetically, past life related, you know, childhood related, ancestral, you know, in this lifetime, you know, I just pull those out, and you know, it allows the healing to really happen.
Yeah.
So you know, it's a joint effort.
Yeah.
I think what frustrates me the most is when people come to see me, pay me good money, and then won't do anything.
Right. Right.
That's when I'm like, well, you know, I feel bad for taking your money because it doesn't feel like you want to change, want to
Shift this.
heal.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
it's really the onus is on the person being healed. You know, if they're not willing, you know, they're not willing, and that's their own journey. But even if you could pull out every book in their Akashic record, every file rather of their big book of Akashic records, and be like, here, look at this. No, you're not willing to change. Look at this. Not willing. Nope, still not willing to change. Here you go. Nope, still not willing to change. Okay, well, you know, you're addicted to your victimhood. You know, I mean, just being really, truly honest. And some people are, and that's lovable too. And also, I just don't tend to work with people like that. I'm like, radical responsibility or bust, you know, because, and I know how hard that is, you know, but it's the path for me, at least it was, because I couldn't, I was in a lot of victimhood too. You know, it's just, so I can empathize, but then at some point the healer doesn't do the healing for you. You are connected to your own source, you know, and we get to walk beside you, right? We get to walk beside you and go, good job. You're doing it. Keep going. One more step. Oh, you tripped. Oh gosh, here, let me help you up a little bit. You know,
Exactly.
I love that you said that, because that's huge. That really helps ownership. I mean, because if you don't take ownership, then you are going to be always hooked into that person being the one, you know. Oh, you know, that's like, that's like guruism, you know. I just can't handle that. It's too much. It's like, yeah, can't do it. I would much rather suffer than be under someone else's command. You know. And great healers and teachers are just like you. They're like, no, this is the connection, not this is the connection.
Exactly.
I'm just I'm holding your hand, helping you get to this one, but you don't have to drop anchor here, right?
That's exactly right. And, you know, success, failure, health, you know, it's all an inside job. So I just help you, you know, support you on the inside and outside, and everywhere. You're so nice.
All the things. I love how you show up. I love your light and your energy and your connection and your sweetness. You're just the best. And you're so stinking smart. You're like so smart. And I know this because I've read her work. I know this. You're just so stinking smart. I love getting to connect with you.
Me too.
So, what else is coming to mind now that you'd like to share with our friends? All entire million people that are watching.
Well, one of the things that people come to me for, a prevalent issue, is I feel stuck. And it's usually because they've lost touch with their life purpose. What brings them joy? What gives them the spark? What do they want to discover next? They've lost that curiosity about themselves. And so life has lost that spark for them. So, you know, reintroducing that aspect. And I can't do that for them either. They need to, I can't say, listen, you need to go into some music.
Let me tell you what you need to do. We don't do that.
You need to discover your own passions. So,
but I think you are able to clear the muck out of the way. Yeah,
exactly. So that's true. But yeah, it's a major thing. Like, so many people feel really stuck in their lives, and it's because they've lost touch with themselves.
And I think the pandemic didn't help that effort at all. But they were looking at things that weren't leading them to health and happiness and joy and peace. But you know, I had the opposite thing where I went way into like really feeling and connecting, and everything was so quiet, and everything I could just get so much clearer information, and you know, I was doing more channeling, stuff like that. And then we came out of the pandemic, and I started eating out again and watching things on TV, and you know, going a whole nother route. Like, I went totally the opposite direction as fast as I could possibly run. And then then I started doing other things that I just didn't do during the pandemic. Like, everybody was drinking during the pandemic. I didn't hardly drink anything. You know, I didn't hardly, and now I'm like, yeah, I'll take a drink. Like, it's like, what is going on? How did I fall so far from grace? You know, it's just so weird. And it's just, you know, so yeah, I was like the one that people were like, why is she so well adjusted right now? This is a big deal. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm fine. Are you fine? I'm fine. You know, and I'm like, I love it. I'm quiet. I'm at home. I'm by myself. you know? And I'm like, nothing's really affecting me by this. After it, I'm like, I'm falling apart. What am I doing with my life? Where are my passions? Where are my joys?
I was the same way. And I think, the pandemic was great for introverts.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like
it was our jam.
It really was. The introverts had to check in on the extroverts. You okay?
Do you just need to talk?
I really don't, but I'm here for you.
Because you've invited me to all those parties I haven't gone to, I'm going to go ahead and check in.
Yeah, exactly.
I need you to still keep inviting me to the parties because I do want to be picked and liked, but
yes. Exactly. So yeah, but when things are quiet, that's when we thrive. But I also did notice during the pandemic, there was that Me Too movement, there was the Black Lives Matter, when all of this other stuff was happening with, racism, and I felt all of it.
Oh yeah, I did too. I did
because
too.
it was quiet. But yeah, being reintroduced to the world, it's almost like being institutionalized.
Yeah.
And coming out. And it's like you don't know how to behave anymore.
Oh God, no. I saw a little cartoon meme thing that said that was like it looked like a person, and then it was like during the pandemic, and they turned into this lizard, and then then they're like, I can't go back outside. I'm a lizard person now. I'm never going to be able to be around normal people again. And then then the lizard goes outside and then meets up with another person who's also turned into a lizard. And then they're like, you're a lizard, I'm a lizard. Okay, we're fine. It was great. Because I'm like, oh God, yeah, I do feel like a lizard person, especially like going out and being around people a lot and then over talking, over sharing, like all this stuff that's been trapped inside my head that I just didn't notice because I'm cool with being quiet.
Yeah.
And they're like, you are too much.
I think maybe that's why I have so much fun when I'm on with you, because I'm like, I'm quiet kind of all day. And
yeah, I know.
With you, and I'm like, what?
I know. I'm very, very still most of the time. Yeah. Todd has to poke me with a stick every once in a while and make sure I'm still alive. Something going on in there? and then I'm like, oh, do you want to know? And he's like, yep, I'll get my coffee. Sits down. And then I'm like, blah, 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 this is what's going on in my head. But otherwise, I'm just pretty quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Any closing thoughts, my friend? And how can they reach you?
Oh, well, closing thoughts. I think we would all benefit from being more selfish, kind of, earlier in our conversation. We can all benefit from, self-care, self-love. We don't do enough of it. We care for others, and we don't care for ourselves nearly as much. So if we're happy, other people around us are happy. So doing all of that. And it requires, very little, just a little, I love you in the mirror. You're awesome.
You're awesome. You're awesome.
It just will make your day.
Look at me in the eyes. You're awesome.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. It's all about love. And people can find me at my website at YuSonShin.com or ShinHealingArts.com. It goes to the same place. And yeah.
Awesome. YuSon, it is always a joy to be with you. You are a delight. I love how I don't know. I just feel good. if you want to get more of this goodness, you better go out there and see YuSon, because she's international, baby. Virtual reality is just so cool. The world has become a much more accessible place. So if you need healing, you need connection, you need love, you need to feel unstuck, go see YuSon. She's going to be able to help you with it. And I'm Kyra Schaefer, and I will see you guys again. Much love to everyone. You guys have a great day. Bye.
Thank you, Kyra. Bye.